Marriage can be so hard. You sit down and be like, God, this is the first year and I'm going through this. How about if it is the 10th year? What will I? Someone told me that I have been married for 6 months, but the things I have gone through are like someone who has been married for 27 years and plus. How hard could marriage be? Now, in this video, we are going to see reasons why marriage is hard. You're welcome to my YouTube channel, Marriage Tips with Asperia. Now, this here is Asperia, your friend. Please subscribe. The very first reason why we think marriage is hard is because we assume that we have married Mr. Perfect, Madam Perfect, who are incapable of doing wrong. We feel like, how could he? How could she? I didn't expect him to do this. My friend, even if you marry a pastor, a bishop, fellow Christian, as long as they still have something called the flesh, they are going to do something wrong. So when we think that, I couldn't, we lie and we make marriage seem to be so hard. By nature, we were all corrupted by sin. And sin lived in our bodies. Right now, our bodies do not have anything good. Sometimes you strive to do what is right and you find you have ended up doing what is wrong. A lot of people struggle with the flesh, even in the Bible times. When you look at Paul in the book of Romans chapter 7 and verse 19, he says, "For the good that I would, I do not. But the evil which I would not, that I do." So he says that he would want to do good, then he doesn't do. He would want not to do this bad, and then he finds he has done that. Because he says in his body, in the flesh, there is nothing good there. So when we assume that she's perfect, he's perfect, he's very faithful, he's true, we lie. And when something happens, we end up saying, how could he? How could she? I didn't expect this. Marriage to hell with you. Next, divorce. Because we feel like he's no longer perfect. No one is perfect. Only God is perfect. The second reason is because we don't want to change. Now, by the way, marriage is one of God's primary workshops for change. It is a place of change. Now, remember, before marriage, we have our things. For instance, myself, I'll give you an example. Now, before I got married, I was someone who gets angry as in so fast. And if I get angry, you will not manage me. Now, when I got married to my husband, I thought that he's someone whom you cannot just jump in and back at him. And the more he dislikes my character, the more I change. Now, if you don't want to change in a marriage, it will be very hard for you to make it in it, because you will find that you like this, he doesn't like. She likes this, you don't like. And the only way you can find peace is if one of you will adjust. So the reason why we say marriage is hard, marriage is impossible, because we don't want to change. We want to remain in our old nature. And that doesn't work. When you look at 1 Corinthians 13, from verse 4 to 8, they talk about love. Love is patient, love is kind, love is generous, love. Describe love. So you find that if I was selfish, because of love, I just have to give. But if you want to remain in your selfish way of life, you won't manage life. You will not manage marriage. So we can say marriage is hard because we fail. We don't want to change. Number 3, comparison. The reason why marriage is hard, because we like comparing our marriages to other marriages, not knowing that God gave you your spouse for a purpose and gave the other person their spouse for a purpose. Now you want your husband to be like this man you see on Facebook. You can't be like him. You see celebrities, doing this, showing off, and your husband's maybe this other type of guys and he doesn't do that. Or maybe your wife, you start saying, can't you be like this? Can't you be like, you start comparing, another enemy, comparing your efforts. And if I had not come, you couldn't have managed. I have helped. I have done this. You start putting yourself on a higher level than your spouse, and then you compare him, and it makes him inferior. It makes her lose self-esteem because they feel you are. Sometimes you find couples are even competing. You buy this car, you say, I can't drive. You find that there is no joy within you. And that way, marriage becomes hard because you cannot be contented with what God has given you. Now, it is not bad to admire some people, like couples, happy couples, and you feel like, wow, I wish my marriage could be like this one. But it is a very bad thing if you constantly compare, drag your spouse and compare them with someone else. It is a bad thing, and it will make your marriage very hard, and you will feel like, I can't, because other people are like this. For us, we are like, other people are like, da, 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 da. And you find that you will never have peace. And in that, marriage becomes very hard. Bitterness. Nothing kills a marriage quickly, as in faster, like unresolved anger, conflicts. Now, I'm not saying that maybe you caught your husband cheating. Even these small things, once you pack them, 1, 2, 3, 1,000 small things in your heart, they become like one huge conflict. Now, God knew that we are going to be bitter at some time. Now, He says in His Word, when you see Ephesians, I like quoting that Bible verse. Ephesians chapter 4, 31 to 32 says, let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. Now, God knew that bitterness is dangerous because once you're bitter, your children will test your wrath, your husband will test it, your wife will test it, even people around you will test your bitterness, because bitterness does not only affect you, it affects even people surrounding you. And with bitterness, you can never appreciate your spouse, you can never compliment them, you can never love them enough because you always see them as evil, bad. You always seek for grounds to revenge, and in that, marriage becomes the hardest, actually the baddest place for you to ever live in. Bitterness makes marriage hard. Then another thing which makes marriage hard is Saturn. You people, Saturn has power. I'm not saying he's more powerful than God, never, but he has power. And his mission on earth, when you look at John 10:10, he came to steal, kill, and destroy. He always moves around looking for which marriage to devour, which marriage to break down, especially the marriages that are on the foundation of God, yearning to live like Christ, pleasing God. That is the best that Satan is looking for. And once you allow him in your life, in your family, and you allow anger, you allow everything to pile up in your heart, Satan will not leave your marriage standing. Satan can make your marriage so hard, and you feel like, I can't make it any longer. Until I divorce, I'll feel better, because that guy is not resting. If you don't resist him by prayer and putting on the full armor of God, your marriage is at a higher state of breaking down. Marriage can be hard because of the devil, if we allow him in our lives. And there are so many areas where the devil, where we allow the devil in our marriages. That is in anger, cheating, a lot of things. If you don't take care of your family, you are inviting Satan to take care of it. If you don't do this, you find that Satan is seated in the chair in your house and is breaking up everything. The last and bigger one, if you don't allow God to be the head of your family. Now, we know that the head of every man is Christ. and the head of every woman is a man. Now, sometimes you find we have changed the spiritual settings of a family. You find a wife is the head of a husband, and now remember, God cannot be the head of a wife, and there the picture is broken. Marriage is a beautiful picture of God is salvation. God is love. That is why he says that husband, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave his own life for the church. That means you're going to find an imperfect wife and you have to love her perfectly just like Christ does. But if you say, I can't obey God, who is God? Who can tell me to love an imperfect wife? I cannot. And then you find that things become so hard for you because you don't want God to be the head. God should be the head of your family. The moment you take away God out of the headship, out of the authority in your home, just know that marriage is going to be so hard for you. A lot can be added to this video, but these things I have shared, if you look at them carefully, they are seriously breaking so many families. Thank you so much for watching the video. I want to know more about some of the things that make marriage hard, so you can put one in the comment section and I'm willing to follow and learn from you. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider subscribing and click the notification bell so that every time I upload a new video, you will be the first to know. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends. For now, it's a bye.